The 9th of June, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Okay. The first Rashi, on Utes. Irkasa, Legita.
Yeah.
That's that we lost the ball. Shehi Shliach Lavi, that this was a Shahaya, there was an agent, Shliach Lavi, to bring the get. Irkasa lay, and it was lost from him. The Eshkachata, when it was forgotten.
Yeshkach Suhu. Eshkachuhu, rather. Eshkachu. It was lost from him, and it was found.
It was found, lost and found.
So now he's trying to get it back. So he's telling them he's got a simon and he has tvius ayin. Okay, further in the Rashi.
The Alma Im Simon is. They said that if there's a simon, chashiva, it's considered l'chu to take an oath, a sign. Take for me the gavia simena with the with the sign. With the gavia is another word for having that I have the sign.
So he's saying, so run on Rashi. He's saying, Rabbi Baruch Chana is saying to the Bnei Yeshiva, simna chashuva lechu. If if a simon is chashuv to you, meaning if you hold that a simon, which is an identifying mark on the document, is chashuv, meaning it's something that l'chori means deraisa, and you would give it back to me if I gave you an identifying mark. So then I'm telling you, isli megave simna. I have, in regard to this get, I have an identifying mark that I could tell you. Right, just like if somebody he loses a wallet, so he goes, so he goes to the person that found the wallet, and he says, I can tell you that the wallet that I lost was a Gucci leather wallet, and it had the Italian flag on the front of the wallet. Right? How many wallets have such a thing like that? So that's a simon, and if simonim are deraisa, so then that would be enough to warrant them to give it back to this person. They can rely on the fact that if he gave him that simon, then he must be the owner of the wallet. Okay. And then he says, now he's going to talk about tvius ayin. Tvius ayin. Lou, you want to read?
Sure. We were reading Rashi, or we're reading the Gemora?
In Rashi. It's the end of the second line.
De'im tevias ayin. Chashiva lechu is li bigvaya to vios ene machiru ani bichtav yadei hasofar v'ha edim midas archu urechabu k'adam ha-machir es chavero b'tivias in shitiva bo v'ein bo siman. Okay, so let's see. Chashiva, it's important. Lechu, to whom there is what's begave?
In the divorce document.
There is in it tevios ene visible signs.
Yeah.
Machiro.
But it's not really a good translation, actually. I take it back. What you see at the end of the Rashi is Tfias Ayin is not a siman. It's a different means by which the divorce document is going to be given back. It's not because he has a siman, Rashi says. It's because he has Tfias Ayin. He has the
recognition of the document.
Yeah, he has a visual with his eye. With his eye, he could look at it, and there's things. None of them are simonim, but they all add up together to a picture that this is the document that I lost.
Okay. And what is machiro?
Makiro ani. I recognize it.
I recognize it.
Meaning, I recognize this document as being mine. Why? Now he's going to tell you.
Bichtav yadei hashofar.
Sofer.
Hasofer. I recognize the handwriting of the scribe.
Right.
V'ha'edim. And I recognize the edim, the names of the edim.
Right.
Midas archu. What's archu?
Midas archu v'rachbo. I recognize the size, the midah of the width and the length of the document.
Adas
Ka'adam
hamachir es chavero, like a person recognizes the size of his friend.
His friend. Person recognizes his friend.
Bitavias ayin. With the visual recognition, shitaba bo. What's shitaba?
Shetava bo. With the tfias ayin shetava bo.
That he recognizes, that he sees visually. It's the same word.
Yeah, it's the same test base ayin.
to Ein Bo Simon, and there's no sign in it.
He can't give you a simon. He can't give you a simon. Oh, he has, a scar over his left. He doesn't have a scar over his left eyebrow, right? He's got two eyes. He's got one nose. He's got a mouth. He's got a beard. Wears glasses, right? None of those are identifying characteristics. But if you look at him, you'll say, "Oh yeah, that's my friend," right? He's sure of that.
So he recognizes the documents like a person recognizes his friend.
Right. That's Rashi's excellent mashal, if I do say so myself. Right. So you get the idea. Rashi's very clear over here. That's Tvias Ayin. And the Gemora said that Tvias Ayin. Oh, we have another Rashi actually. Looks like the next Rashi Kasabre is out of place. The next Rashi, according to our Gemora, is Dafka. Think so.
I want to see why the Kasabri, where the Kasabri is.
The Kasabri.
There is a Kasabri. He makes the Kasabri. There is a Kasabri, okay? But it's kind of like written in the Gemara as like two words.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Kasabri.
Right.
And that they hold. The Kasabri, they hold.
Yeah.
It says the Rabbanans won't hold. Simanin Deraisa. A simon is Deraisa. Shalo Amarti, that I didn't say Simon Mufchak, that it's a definite Simon Mufchak. He turns it to me.
Yeah. So Rabbi Chana is saying that the Bnei Yeshiva apparently gave it back to him, but it wasn't clear to Rav Chana what was their decision to give it back to him based upon. One of two things. Was it because they held that Simonim are deraisa? That's what Rashi's talking about over here. And Rashi says, Shalo amarti siman muvhak. I did not tell them a siman muvhak, right? Because we said before, if you have an outstanding identifying characteristic of the item that you lost, then that siman muvhak, that is a din deraisa, according to everyone, that you'll give it back. But here, Rabbi Rav Chana is saying, I didn't have such an outstanding identifying characteristic of the get that I gave them, and nevertheless, hekziruhu li, they gave it back to me. So I don't know, why did they give it back? Did they give it back because the siman that I did give them was sufficient as far as they're concerned? They hold simonim, even ordinary simonim, a siman koldehu is deraisa. And so if it's deraisa, then that'll take care even of a get that has what we said before. It has not only an implication of dine mominus, it's my get, it's whose get does it belong to, but it also matters in Eishasish. Okay, or did they give it back to me because of Tvias Ayin? Okay. In other words, it sounds like Rabbi Baruch Chana had the opportunity to examine. They gave it back to him, and to examine it, and he showed them. Yes, he said, yes, this is my get. I can identify it. And they said, okay, so you can keep it, Rabbi. So he says after the fact, he says, I don't know why they allowed me to keep it. Was it because of the siman that I gave them, the ordinary siman koldehu that I gave them? Or was it because I told them I recognize it? Okay. So now,
There's a very long art scroll note on this, by the way.
yeah, what do they say?
Number 2. Okay. You want me to read it? Do you want to read it, Roy?
What number?
Number 2. Read number 2.
What? Sorry,
Number 2.
I can't.
Want me to read it?
I can't.
Yeah, you read it, Phil.
Okay. It says the Gemora in the following chapter rules that a scrupulously honest rabbinical scholar claims a lost object that lacks any siman, it should be shown to him. If he claims to recognize it as own, his word is accepted and the object is returned to him. Rabbi Bava was unable to describe a distinctive siman for the get, only an ordinary one. He was therefore uncertain whether the scholar should return the get on the basis of his siman. Perhaps they accept the position that ordinary siman may not be relied upon in cases that fall under biblical law. He therefore offered to identify the get visually. Rabbi was familiar enough with the get to recognize it by its general appearance. For example, its script, signatures, and dimensions. Identification by means of visual recognition is not based on a claimant's familiarity with any particular identifying mark, but rather on his general familiarity with the entire object. This is comparable to the way one recognizes a person with whom he's familiar, even though he is unable to describe any particular feature of that person. That's Rashi. Indeed, visual recognition is considered a more reliable method of identification than siman, since it is based on familiarity with the entire object rather than with a single outstanding feature. And then there's another, the next Rashi after that. If they return to get to Rabbi Bava on the basis of an ordinary siman, did not require you get a truly distinctive siman, it must be because they held that even an ordinary siman is acceptable on biblical level. And then the final one on that says, although anybody is capable of a definite visual recognition of an object, we do not accept the claim of recognition except from a rabbinical scholar whose scrupulous honesty is known to us.
Right. Okay. So we go further in the Gemara now. We're up to Gufa. Gufa is so 7 lines down.
It's
on the end of the line.
The second paragraph, the Gemora quotes.
Want to take it, Lou?
Okie dokes. We return to the text of the brisa cited above. Matzah get Isha Bashuk. He found a divorce document in the marketplace. Bizman shehaba'al modeh. In a time when the husband admits, I guess he admits that he divorced his wife. Yachazir leisha, return the document to the wife. Ein haba'al modeh, if the husband does not admit, lo yachazir lo lezeh lo velo lezeh, Do not return it, not to this one, not to that one. Don't return it to the husband or to the wife. Bizman shehabal modeh miha chazir leisha. So now the Gemara is going to ask a question. At a time when the husband admits, we return it to the wife. Lei chush shema kasav litain benisan. Why are we not concerned that perhaps it was written in Nisan with the intention to give it to his wife at that time? Velo nitain la ad Tishrei, but he didn't actually give it to her until Tishrei. Va'azal Baal Zabain Peirei Mi Nisan Ba'ad Tishrei. And the husband sold the produce. He sold her produce. He sold the produce that he was entitled to from her property between Nisan and Tishrei. So there was a financial change during the interim period when the get had been written but had not been given yet. Umaf ka legita dechasav benisan. So if we return the bill of divorce to the woman, she may then produce this bill of divorce that was written in Nisan, and claim her property, which is not really rightfully hers because the bill wasn't given to her before the property was sold. The asya, the meat rough, the kuchos shalo bedin, and she will thereby take away unlawfully from the one who purchased it between Nisan and Tishrei. So the Gemara asks, how can you say that if the husband admits, you give it back when you have this potential problem with the dates?
Mm-hmm.
And the woman could therefore cheat the purchaser of the produce out of his purchase.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. We have Rashi over here. V'lo nosan ad Tishrei.
The Lo Nasa and our kitchen didn't give it to him until Tishrei. The calls man, and all the time Shalonatan that it wasn't given. Haya lo achol. It was his ability to be able to eat from that. Ulim kor peri, and to sell its peri, its fruits, its nichnasei malog. It's I don't know would you translate the malog property. the property that's unencumbered, I guess is the word, but I still don't know what this word means.
Oh yeah.
Our cars.
This is really property that belongs to the wife.
The wife's property that he has use of during the marriage, that she can use that property. Shetiknu chachamim, that the chachamim made a tekana on labal for the husband, leachol peiro, to eat that peiros from the wife's property, shel nichnas milog, nichnas milog, ishto, the nichnas milog of the wife. Sheneflolo liyerusha, that will fall to him in a
to her
as an.
Can I have your phone? Because I'm trying to do it on WhatsApp.
Right. In other words, she has 100% ownership of this property. Rashi's explaining how it is that she's got 100% ownership of this property. It was from her the property that she got in the Yerusha. So the husband doesn't really have any ownership interest in the property of Mina Torah, but the Chachamim said while he's married to her, he's got the right to the peiros of this property that belongs to her. But now, once the husband divorces the wife, so now the property goes back. The property doesn't go back; it always was owned by the wife. But now the right to the peiros also now goes back to the wife. So now, if she's going to produce a document that says she got married, not married, she got divorced in Nisan, like it says on the document. It says the document is dated Nisan. So then she's going to collect the peiros from Nisan to Tishrei, which is not really doesn't really belong to her, because the get was not given, even though it was dated at the time that it was written. It wasn't given. The husband, for whatever reason, didn't give it away right away. Okay. So that's the question. How can we give it back to the wife? In other words, maybe this get does belong to her. The husband admitted that he wrote his wife a get. We found the get in the shuk. It's got his name. It's got her name. It's got all the right things. So we give it back to her, right? Says the Gemora. 1 second. We got a problem with this. Maybe there was a delay in the giving of the get, and now we're worried that she could be torif milakuchos shelo kedin. So what do we answer to this? Back in the Gemora, Hanicha. Roy.
Okay. Hapicha leman da'amah. This ruling that the bill of divorce should be returned fits well according to the one who says Tivan Shenasan Inan Legarsha, that once the husband sets his mind to divorce his wife and writes a bill of divorce, Shuv Ein Lebaal Pirus, the husband forfeits his right to the yield of her property. Shafir, according to this view, it fits well that we return a bill of divorce because a woman truly owns the yield that accrued from the property between Nisan and Tishrei. Eila Lama'an Da'amah, however, according to the one who says, Yesh Libal Pirus Ad She'as Nisana, who says that a husband retains the yield until the time he actually gives the bill of divorce. May Aka the Mama, what is there to say? And
In other words, it's a question.
yeah,
It's a question that doesn't seem to have an answer to it.
yeah,
The kasha on that Manda Omar,
it
this
goes on,
Mishnah.
it goes on to say here, how can we return a bill of divorce to the woman when she might use it to prove that she was divorced in Nissan and defraud those who purchase the rights to the yield of her property from her husband? And
Yeah.
Gemora gives an answer.
Okay.
Okay,
Uh,
time. Okay.
It's time? Okay. All the best, everybody.
Have a good day. Take care.
Very good day.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Good day.
You, Rabbi
All the
Levitt.
best, Lou. Bye, Phil and Roy.
See you.
Have a good day, Roy.